over the last 4 to 6 months, I have gained a great understanding of the future of work and what it means for you. So today's video, you're gonna learn one, what it looks like when AI is doing all of the work. Number two, what it means for your job and your career moving forward, and ultimately how to navigate out of that. But first, we have to understand the waves of AI just to know where we are and where we're headed. So in simple terms, there's 4 waves of AI transformation. Now, AI isn't arriving all at once. It's kind of like technology. It happens over time. You can kind of think of it like the iPhone. Over the years, we had multiple iterations of the iPhone, and that's just how it is with technology, and AI is no different. But most importantly, each iteration is building on the last one. So understanding which wave affects your industry helps you prepare strategically rather than react defensively. And if you talk to a lot of people, especially like the senior population or just people in general who don't really understand this technology, it is from a place of fear, which is again a reactive paradigm rather than a proactive paradigm. So I'm going to help you react proactively. So wave number 1 is the internet AI, which we're already there. It's fully deployed. Some elements of this are recommendation algorithms powering personalized content and targeted advertising. Basically, you can think of it as a TikTok algorithm. When TikTok first came onto the scene, it was kind of the first major update of an algorithm. Like TikTok's algorithm is so good. And then we have targeted advertising. So Facebook, for instance, uses a lot of AI for their algorithms, and they're not slowing down on the use of AI either. So these systems learn from your preferences and predict what you'll want next. Again, Netflix, Spotify, TikTok, Amazon, personalized new feeds and shopping, and then search engine optimization. So wave number 2 is business AI, which is widely implemented already if you did not know it. And so that kind of looks like data analysis and insights drive decision making. We have AI detects fraud, assists credit card risk, optimizes logistics, and underwrites insurance policies. So a lot of these bigger companies or even kind of these bigger fields are already utilizing AI. However, things do vastly change with wave 3, which is perception AI. So this is rapidly emerging right now. A lot of this wave revolves around computer vision and voice recognition enabled machines to perceive and to navigate the physical world. We're talking autonomous vehicles. Tesla, if you ever stepped in a Waymo, Waymo is an amazing machine. And I first experienced the Waymo in Atlanta, and it really took my breath away how it can really navigate the roads seamlessly, right? And we're going to get to the point where you want to be in a Waymo or you want to be in a Tesla rather than a human driving the vehicle. We have smart cities, facial recognition, which is another big one, retail automation, and security systems. And so the most important aspect of wave 3, it brings AI out of servers into our physical environment. And you can even look at the Chinese developing robots. Even Elon Musk is spending a ton of resources with Optimus, which is their robot. And that perception AI is going to be a massive wave. And then we have wave number 4, which is autonomous AI. That looks like robots and drones operate independently, making complex decisions without human intervention. This final wave automates entire workflows. So it's already happening. It just, yes, there's a lot of laws, there's a lot of policies around this. So it's not easy to navigate. And the problem is, again, technology tends to move forward while policies stay stagnant. And so there's this massive disconnect between the push for innovation while government and policies definitely do lag. And in a few seconds, you're going to understand what that means for one, your job, and ultimately the economy. However, it's important to double click, I think, onto the Magnificent Seven in the AI economy. So these 7 companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, NVIDIA, Tesla, they're kind of the Mag 7, and their combined market capitalization of 21.5 trillion represents 35% of the entire S&P 500. So this is a level of dominance that raises both opportunities and concerns about competition, innovation, and economic fairness. So number 1, there is tons of revenue generation from this type of industry, right? AI products drive massive revenue. As you can tell, a lot of people are using LLMs, and these tools are not cheap, right? Claude Code, you have anti-gravity even. If you go kind of the max plan, it's not that cheap. And you even have Ultra from Google with $300+ per month. And also you can pay a lot in credits. And then we have obviously R&D and investment. So we have profits, fund, advancement, AI research. And so while they're generating money, they're obviously diverting a ton of that into R&D, and that's enhancing the systems. And that leads to product innovation. And that's why it feels like every other day or every other week, there's some new updates to these LLMs. Yes, that's based off the competition, so they need to ship fast, but it's also because of this flywheel, right? You have revenue, goes into investment, and then it goes into product innovation. And then we have market expansion. OpenAI, when they first came onto the scene, they were like a first mover. They ate up a ton of the market share because it was so novel, it was new, and it just like broke records, right? And then we had Google, and I remember at the time when ChatGPT came out, we were thinking Google might lose the AI race. Now, I do think Google will probably win just because their vertical integration is second to none. But when it comes to market expansion, new capabilities expand markets, and that's what you saw with LLMs. However, the Mag 7 is always an important indication of where we're currently headed and what the AI economy will look like. So with that foundation being laid out, let's look at kind of some hard numbers and kind of the job and market transition. Now, according to McKinsey, this is kind of the scale of displacement by 2030. Up to 30% of work hours in the United States could be automated. Now, that doesn't sound crazy at all. I mean, if you play with Claude Code, if you play with Cowork, if you play with Anti-Gravity, any kind of these low-code solutions, like I just mentioned, you will realize that a lot of these tools can automate a majority of your work. And if you look to what Elon Musk says, he says majority of AIs right now can do 80% of your job. 12 million Americans will need to change occupations entirely. All right, so this is a big population, 25% more than previous estimates. So, and as you see, these stats will change over time, but this stuff is moving very, very quickly. And so we can see 375 million workers globally. That's pretty much saying all of the US will face occupational displacement. And so again, this will have a major impact on the economy and humans. And unfortunately, as we can see, lowest wage workers are 14x more likely to need career transitions. And so when it comes to actual jobs, hardest hit occupations are office support. Retail is going to be hit quite hard. Administrative work. Again, a lot of these tools can automate a lot of those tasks already. Customer service, we have chatbots for that, and they're only going to get better, and the AI will get better at customer service, and then food service. However, with any big innovation, there are obviously pros as well. So let's talk about the new opportunities. So as we can see with healthcare, there are already openings for that as this science is becoming debunked with the use of AI. We have STEM roles, 23% demand growth, because again, a lot of these tools are helping in those fields, debunking a lot of this stuff that was just, that were kind of bottlenecks due to our cognitive load and due to our intelligence. So now we're having growth in those sectors and we need more people. AI specialists, machine learning engineers and data analysts, cybersecurity professionals, AI ethics experts, those two industries alone will be massive. And then obviously healthcare AI specialists, robotics integration engineers will be massive. To my understanding, I believe about 20% of hospitals in the US are now integrating robots into their work, or AI systems into their work. So that leads us obviously to the elephant in the room. You must learn AI right now. Like, it is not optional. Fluency is rapidly becoming as fundamental as computer literacy was in the 1990s. Even bigger, because this transition is happening 10x faster. Like, the individuals, I can't say this enough, the individuals using these tools, using Claude Code for instance, you are moving at such lightning speed that some ex-engineers that have worked at some of the Mag 7 companies say they can do some of the tasks in 4 months that used to take them a few years. If you're on this channel, you probably have been playing around with this already. But if you haven't, level 1 is the AI user. Everyone should reach this level. That is proficient with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, any LLM that you prefer. For me, it is Claude and Gemini. You want to become proficient at basic prompt engineering, using AI for research, writing, analysis, brainstorming, and understanding AI limitations and when to verify outputs. Level 2 is the AI integrator. So here it's professionals and entrepreneurs. It's building AI workflows specific to your domain. Again, maybe that's transcripts of sales calls and understanding your ICP a little better. Maybe that's automating emails. Maybe that is understanding pitch decks a little better and then fully automating those so that when you do present to new clients, it's already made for you. Whatever your bottleneck is, your sticking points are, use AI to augment a lot of those tasks. Understand no-code AI automation, Zapier, Make, NAN, and connect those to your workflows to make your life a little easier as a founder or just as a business. Level 3 is the AI builder. So technical roles and AI specialists. You kind of want to understand Python programming, APIs, machine learning fundamentals, However, it's not for coding purposes. It's for vibe coding. Again, you want to become a manager of these tools. You don't necessarily want to be doing the work, but it's advantageous of you to understand what it is writing. So just know the fundamentals. Fine-tuning models for specific applications, understanding model architectures and training processes, and deploying AI applications at scale. This takes 1 to 2 years of dedicated study. And this transition won't be easy. And we're only just seeing now the tip of the iceberg of how AI will displace work. And that leads us to universal basic income. Now, there has been a lot of discussion around UBI and how the direction of AI ultimately leads to UBI. So AI has the potential to dramatically reduce the cost of goods and services while freeing human time for creativity, family, health, and meaning. Like I said, 30% of your work could be automated. And so what are you going to do with that extra time? Are you going to be paid for that? What does that look like? So imagine 20-hour work weeks as the norm, shift from labor economy to meaning economy, more time for art, music, writing, invention, aka any hobby you like that you'd want to do more of, stronger families and communities because now we have so much more time, and better physical and mental health outcomes, aka we have more time to devote to things that actually move the needle, aka your health. Now, there are some critical challenges. Like, for instance, who owns the AI? Is it going to be the Mag 7? Is it going to be maybe 2 to 3 companies that own the AI that do all the work for us? How do we tax for this type of stuff? How do we redistribute AI generated wealth? And what governance models work, which we're all kind of finding out in real time. That's why this transition period is going to be quite shaky, in my opinion. With that being said, there are 3 priorities for thriving in this AI transition. All right, this is kind of your plan. So number 1, health first. So Dario Modi, the co-founder of Anthropic, so he tells a story about his father passing away. And unfortunately, at that time, there's no cure. And I think he states within kind of like a year, they eventually came to a cure. So right now, health is super important because you're going to get to the point where there's so many new cures coming out because of AI, and a lot of cures will be coming out. So your health is priority. Number 2 is relationships over productivity. You're gonna get to the point where AI is doing most of your work, which ultimately means you're gonna have a lot more time for, number 1, obviously your health, number 2, relationships. And ultimately, like we've seen from a lot of people, on your deathbed, you won't wish you worked more. You wish you had more memories and built better relationships. Priority number 3, because it does matter, is learn AI, don't become it. All right, this is super important. We're going to talk about this for 2 seconds here. AI is a tool, not an identity. Use it to amplify your humanity. So number 1, if your health is not in order, get to the place where it is. A lot of the basic necessities, money, shelter, X, Y, and Z, will be taken care of from AI. Get your health in order. Number 2, invest in relationships. Spend more time with family, friends, and community. Again, you're going to have a lot of time on your hands. And when UBI is here and you're making money because AI is so efficient and effective and low cost, you're going to want to go back to the basics of what makes you human, which is like connections and friendships. And then ultimately building AI skills. These are very important. I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. And this is kind of the paradox of AI. AI is most useful when it frees us to be more human, not less human. The goal isn't to compete with AI in speed or accuracy. We'll lose that race. Obviously, we can already see that. The goal isn't to become more machine-like in our thinking. That's a dead end. The goal is to use AI to amplify what makes us irresistibly human, right? Creativity, empathy, love, curiosity, and play that serves no purpose except joy. So you're going to feel a ton of emotions while we're going through this transition period. But as always, my friends, I'm going to help you navigate through it, and I will see you next time.